welcome to the live session. Today we will be discussing about different type of textile prints. I hope I'm audible to all of you. So before we start this particular session, I'll request all of you to download our app, which is KP Classes Exam Prep app. It will be very beneficial for you. So we have targeted various design related examination like NIFT, NID, UCEED and CEED, and we have a very unique recorded lecture series available for our students. So these lecture series, they contain both creative as well as non-creative part, and the lectures of various topics have been provided to the students. So if you are somebody who is planning to prepare for a specific examination, so please click on those particular links. आप उसमें कोर्स का डिस्क्रिप्शन देख सकते हो, कोर्स का कंटेंट देख सकते हो, प्लस हमने कुछ वीडियोस डेमो के तौर पे अपने स्टूडेंट्स के लिए ओपन रखा है, right? And in case you have more queries other than that, so you can always give us a call on the numbers which are given below, right? So I hope you understood that we have these recorded lecture series available, which would be very beneficial for you, especially for the students who are school going या फिर जो अपने कॉलेजेस के फाइनल ईयर में है और वो मास्टर्स की तैयारी करना चाहते हैं, या फिर दे आर वर्किंग समवेयर, राइट? सो फॉर दीज काइंड ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स जहाँ पे उनको टाइम कंस्ट्रेन है और वो एक रेगुलर क्लास लाइव क्लास नहीं अटेंड कर सकते हैं, फॉर देम दिस प्रूव्स टू बी रियली बेनिफिशियल बिकॉज आपको रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर्स मिलते हैं जिनको आप अपने टाइमलाइन के हिसाब से आप you can study them and you can practice accordingly, right? So let's get started today. Our topic is different type of textile print pattern. So सबसे पहले तो why are we learning this particular topic? So we have seen in the future that in NIFT as well as in NATA examination, a lot of questions are asked to the students where the student has to make a 2D composition. अब ये 2D कॉम्पोजिशन क्या है? ये 2D कॉम्पोजिशन है कुछ ऐसा ग्राफिक बनाना जो कि एक पर्टिकुलर पैटर्न में हो. पैटर्न का मतलब क्या होता है? पैटर्न का मतलब होता है कि एक पर्टिकुलर वे में उसको हम रिपीट कर रहे हैं, right? It is not a scenery, it is not an individual image of a flower or a car or a leaf, but they are put into a repeat, into a pattern, right? This is something very common. Now today we are looking at few very common textile patterns, okay? उनके unique features हम देखेंगे और उनके क्या नाम होते हैं आज हम वो समझेंगे, and this is just the starting. We will be having more such videos where we will be focusing on the on different textile prints. So these are few examples of the textile prints. अभी हमें जो भी question मिलता है उसमें how do we supposed to give the solutions? They are provided with certain boxes और आपको उन boxes के अंदर अपना जो भी motif है उसको repeat करना है. So what is a motif? Motif is this small single design unit and you need to repeat it in a particular format. Okay, now you can see there are various prints available and उनके बहुत ही unique नाम है, जैसे कि plaid हो गया, chevron हो गया, scroll, paisley, polka dots, camouflage, etc. So today we will be looking at few of those textile print, right? अब ये सिर्फ textile print नहीं है. Yes, originally they started up as textile print, but later on these particular graphics have been used in various other things. For example, they could be used for wallpapers, they can be used as desktop wallpapers, या फिर किसी भी वेबसाइट के बैकग्राउंड में यूज हो सकता है, पैकेजिंग में यूज हो सकता है, right? So we'll see the first one and the most common one is Liberty print. Now आप में से बहुत सारे ऐसे students होंगे who must have not heard about this name as Liberty Prints, but what is it? It's simple florals but बहुत ही compact और छोटे size के. So, miniature floral, paisley, and abstract prints in the 1920s, these fabrics became known as Liberty prints. So, initially in the 1920s, lot of these due to industrial revolution, there were printing units that were created, and these very compact floral prints became popular, जिनको liberty prints बोला जाता था. The unique feature is that they have different sizes and different kinds of flowers, very closely packed, okay, and there is very less space in the negative area. नेगेटिव एरिया क्या है? नेगेटिव एरिया है जो भी खाली हमारा बैकग्राउंड का एरिया बच जाता है. सो ऐसा नहीं है कि ये फ्लावर्स बहुत दूर दूर हैं. अगर आप एक डिस्टेंस से देखोगे तो आपको क्लैरिटी नहीं आएगी, बिकॉज इन फ्लोरल्स का साइज बहुत छोटा होता है. तो ये एक यूनिक फीचर है लिबर्टी प्रिंट का, राइट? अगर आप इसी फ्लावर को बहुत बड़ा कर दोगे, या फिर एक पर्टिकुलर फ्लावर को आपने बड़ा कर दिया और बाकी एलिमेंट्स को आपने छोटा रखा, then the name would change and it will not be called as Liberty Prints. So let's see few more examples. So here are few more examples of Liberty Print. Now, during our examination, what are we supposed to do? So आप जो भी floral use करोगे, you have to see to it that it is simple. Okay, you need to simplify the floral that you are using, because you cannot put so much of detailing in a very small area, right? So make it very small, simplified. Another unique feature is it's very colorful. Okay, it's extremely colorful, and generally 3 to 4 colors are used. If you are preparing for a NATA examination, so they will definitely be giving you some limitation in terms of colors, right? So please, कोई भी print related या graphic related question attempt करने से पहले see to it that you study the instructions properly, और अगर उसमें कोई color limitation है तो आप उस हिसाब से अपना attempt कर सकते हो. So both of these are examples of Liberty Print, and you can see that this is a very simplified version and it has a white background. You can always keep the background white, there is no problem. Or over here also the background is extremely it is white, but it is extremely closely packed. So इसीलिए अगर हम डिस्टेंस से देखते हैं तो हमें ये लगता है कि ये बैकग्राउंड भी हमारा कलर्ड है. So this is the unique feature of Liberty Prints. Remember, it's all about florals, it's about a lot of colors and simplicity. Next is again a very common print. You all must have used it in your daily life also, especially in garments and accessories like bags and watches and shoes. बहुत ही कॉमन है. इवन कार एक्सेसरीज में ये वाला जो प्रिंट है ये बहुत यूज होता है. सो लॉट ऑफ दीज जीप्स दे हैव decals of camouflage print. They have seat covers. Various cars they have seat covers of camouflage print. So the name camouflage, इसका मतलब क्या होता है? कैमोफ्लाज का मतलब होता है किसी एक दूसरे ऑब्जेक्ट के साथ किसी चीज को मिक्स कर देना या हाइड कर देना. So variation of military camouflage prints have existed since the mid 18th century, when rifle units were first issued green, brown and other earth toned uniforms to help them hide in plain sight. So camouflage was generally used by the militaries. Okay, so started, as I said, it came up in the 18th century जब मिलिट्री पर्सनल्स को राइफल्स वगैरह इशू किए गए थे. सो व्हेन दे यूज्ड टू गो टू प्रोटेक्ट द कंट्री or to guard a particular border. So ये camouflage prints दिया जाता था. They were in earthy colors like mostly greens, shades, tin stones, and shades of green, browns, and maybe a little bit of black and all. So होता क्या था कि this print used to help a person to hide between the grasses and small plants and shrubs, right? तो उनको दूर से spot करना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता था. So imagine if somebody is wearing a solid color outfit, okay? So एक solid color outfit में कोई move कर रहा होगा तो it will be very easy for the enemies to spot that person. So it started with these camouflage prints जो कि help करता था. जैसे हवा चल रही है, leaves are also moving and the people are also moving, so they used to get hidden. The pattern used to help them to hide. So over the time this became a fashion statement as well, right? सबसे पहले ये start हुआ था like a utility print. इसका बहुत major एक usage था, but later on it became a fashion statement. After that, not only into garments but also into home furnishing, home interior, accessories like cars, shoes, watches, right? Eyewear, इन सब में भी camouflage print use होने लगा. अब जैसे जैसे camouflage print एक मेन स्ट्रीम फैशन में आया, उसी तरीके से उसमें चेंजेस भी हमने देखने को मिला. So the print designers, they started playing with the pattern. अब यहाँ पे ये चीज नोट करिए that the patterns are very very abstract. They don't look like a leaf, they don't look like a circle, right? But they are very abstract and do not resemble anything in particular, right? So ये help करता है कि किसी भी तरीके के earthy tone में या earthy scenario में mix हो जाए. एंड आप देखोगे कि यहाँ पे जनरली देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ ओवरलैपिंग. सो हमारे नाटा एग्जामिनेशन में और निफ्ट के एग्जामिनेशन में ऐसे बहुत से क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं वेयर दे वुड आस्क यू टू क्रिएट अ पैटर्न, okay, that helps a person to camouflage in the surroundings, या फिर create a pattern using abstract shapes. ठीक है, तो you can have the camouflage design in mind. You can also keep in mind the color scheme. याद रखिएगा कि इसका एक पर्टिकुलर कलर स्कीम होता है. जो भी कलर्स यहाँ पे यूज होते हैं या जो भी वेरिएशन यूज होगा वो बहुत सटल होगा. ठीक है, सटल का मतलब है कि इट विल नॉट हैव अ वेरी हाई कॉन्ट्रास्ट. वहां पे नियॉन कलर्स नहीं यूज होंगे, बट जो भी कलर्स यूज होंगे वो अर्दी होंगे, सटल होंगे, एंड बेसिकली दे विल बी लाइक दे विल हैव अ टोनल वैल्यू. जैसे ऑरेंज का टोन यूज हो रहा है या येलो का टोन यूज हो रहा है, ठीक है, टिंट नहीं यूज होगा, बेसिकली टोन एंड शेड यूज होगा, right? So over the years when it became a fashion statement, so the print designers, they started using certain color stream which were different from the conventional camouflage print, right? And they also started playing with the sizes of these particular shapes. Overlapping बहुत जरूरी है, ठीक है. और अगर हम यहाँ पे देखें कि एक हमें दूर से देखने में ये नहीं लग रहा है कि कोई पर्टिकुलर पैटर्न यूज हो रहा है, बट रिमेंबर दिस इज ऑल ओवर and a little bit of random, and of course it has overlapping happening. So these are the features of camouflage print. If you have to make something abstract, something very specific in terms of a particular end user, then I think this would be a very good thought process in terms of your examination solutions. Then we have damask print. Now damask is a Arabic word, okay, and it is actually a technique. ठीक है, ये जो वर्ड है damask, ये Arabic वर्ड है और ये एक weaving टेक्निक है, राइट? जिसमें जो भी पैटर्न्स बनते थे वो रिवर्स में भी शो होता था, राइट? सो दिस वाज समथिंग लाइक अ रिवर्सिबल पैटर्न, अगर हम इस पैटर्न को फ्रॉम अ टेक्सटाइल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू देखें तो, राइट। और जो टेक्निक होता था उसमें वेरी डिफरेंट थिकनेस के थ्रेड्स यूज होते थे एंड वो बोथ द साइड वो रिवर्सिबल एक फैब्रिक बनता था विच वाज यूज्ड मोस्टली फॉर अपहोल्स्ट्री एंड कार्पेट्स, राइट। बट ओवर द इयर्स ये जो डमास्क पैटर्न है ये डमास्क प्रिंट में भी इसको कन्वर्ट किया गया, वेयर इट वाज नॉट वोवन, इट वाज नॉट पार्ट ऑफ द टेक्सटाइल बट इट बिकेम पार्ट ऑफ अ ग्राफिक डिजाइन, ठीक है। अब इसका फीचर क्या होता है, इसके दे हैव दीज वेरी वेरी स्पेसिफिक ornamental then Victorian inspired motifs. Generally they are symmetrical, okay, they are very very symmetrical and they follow a definite pattern. जैसे ये एक पर्टिकुलर रिपीट है, अगर मैं इसी इमेज को फिर से रिपीट करूं सो यू विल सी दिस विल बी अ कंटिन्यूएशन, this will be a continuation over here, like this is there and this particular image will continue over here, it will complete the image, right। तो alternately हमारा ये particular motif हमारा continue हो रहा है। this is one of the features of damask that it is it follows a very very strict pattern, okay, it can be an alternate pattern, it can be a diagonal pattern and they are very symmetrical, okay। so whatever they are completely जैसे mirror image हो रहा है उसी तरीके से अगर हम कैमोफ्लेज को देखेंगे तो nothing is getting mirror imaged over here, it's very random, okay। but unlike camouflage, damask is ornamental, it's Victorian in nature and it's completely in a like a mirror image में इसके motifs होते हैं, okay, and repeat होता है। colors are always standing out, so there is no limitation in using certain colors in damask print, but generally very ornamental and very rich colors are used in damask print. So here are some examples. So ये हमारे कुछ छोटे छोटे motifs हैं, motifs meaning the smallest unit of design. Now you can pick up any of these motifs and you can repeat them after an interval to create this. Now please remember, if you are trying to create a damask print, it is important that आप अपने examination papers में grid बनाएं, right। in my live classes also I keep telling students that these sort of design they need a grid, you need to follow a vertical and a horizontal grid so that your pattern remains consistent, okay। so that is something that you have to keep in mind, it shows that how well you can mirror a particular motif, how well you can consistently repeat a particular motif, so it requires a level of skill। यहाँ पे you can use both negative as well as the positive area। now also remember, if the pattern is very complicated, okay, like this, the pattern is kind of complicated, so my tip is that you use minimum colors। now imagine the pattern is also complicated and you are also using more than 2-3 colors, then everything becomes very confusing। so in damask designs it's always advisable that you stick to maybe one important color and the background could be white, or maximum 2 colors, it just keeps it more clean। so these are some examples of damask print, it's again I would ask all of you to practice it out, and while you are practicing you need to create a grid, okay। next is abstract print, a lot of students they love abstract print because it gives them the freedom to experiment, okay। so abstract art is an art that does not attempt to represent an accurate depiction of a visual reality। तो यहाँ पे आपको कुछ भी real नहीं बनाना है, आपको एक particular aspect को या element को अपने हिसाब से repeat करना है, ठीक है। so it does not represent visual reality but instead uses shapes, colors, forms and gestural marks to achieve its effect, right। so ये कुछ elements use होते हैं gestural marks hota hai where you are using certain gestures. For example, if I splash a color, so I'm using the movement of my hand to create a pattern. Okay, मेरा उसमें कोई control नहीं है, but I'm just using a random movement of my hand like splashing or stamping to create a particular pattern. Again, there is no hard and fast rule. It could be anything, depends on how the student wants to interpret it. Next is pop art. Now, pop art is something that was really common from 1860 to 1940s. Printing out paper, okay, the full name is printing out paper, uses strong level of ultraviolet sunlight to bring out a visible image rather than the chemical development required by developing out paper. So one of the major feature of pop art is that the colors were very electric. They stood out. Okay, और जो इसके motifs होते हैं या जो design होते हैं वो comparatively simple होते हैं, and they are also a reflection of what is happening in the surrounding at that particular time. So a lot of these cartoons were part of pop art. Lot of lines and cartoon characters and elements were used. This is also part of a pop art जहाँ पे जो common चीज़ है हमारी life की, like we see auto rickshaws, cycles, telephone, right? All of these, anything could be used जो हमारे artist या हमारे designers को लगता है कि it is having an impact in the society, right? And one of the most feature is it is mostly 2D, simple, and the colors are standing out. Okay, next is something, again, animal prints. We keep telling our NIFT and NID, NATA students to work on the texture, to understand the texture of the animal skin and the kind of patterns and prints they have on their skin, and try to simulate them using pencil colors. So the name itself tells you what it is all about. So animal prints in clothing and fashion style in which the garments is made to resemble the pattern of the skin and fur, feathers or scales of animals such as leopard, zebra, giraffe, tiger, cow. Animal print is also used for room decoration, handbags, footwear, and even some jewelry. Okay, so something which is very common, इसमें आप snakes और reptile के भी skin के textures add कर सकते हो. Right? So these are some of the examples of animal prints. Here you will see that they represent or resemble the skin texture of the animal. और आपको उसी हिसाब से थोड़े बहुत color में आप variation कर सकते हो. जैसे this is a variation. You all can take those artistic leverage to change certain aspects, keeping in mind the end use of your clients. Okay, so practice as much as possible. See these patterns. If you are looking at this pattern, you would know that this could be a snake skin, right? So here is a tiger skin pattern, but the colors are little different, right? So we have leopard, we have cheetah. There are different variation in the skin texture also. So study these, and not only the wild animals but also the reptiles and underwater creature, various fish, their scales, all of these things you can practice, and they could be converted into your print patterns. So this was all for today. We will be coming up and discussing about more such prints with you, which will be important for you all from examination point of view, and how different artists and designers ended up using and making some of the prints very famous. So we will be looking at that in our next segment. Till then, do follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and also download our KP Classes Exam Prep app. We'll see you next week with another interesting topic. Thank you.